Mama Chingwe's hands were deep in a pot of bubbling jollof rice, the rich smell of tomatoes, peppers, and smoked fish filling the small kitchen. She stirred with a wooden spoon, her movements slow and steady, a habit from years of cooking for a husband and 5 children. Her husband, Pa Sunday, sat on the veranda, reading an old newspaper. The afternoon sun was hot, but the veranda was cool, shaded by the thick leaves of the mango tree in their compound. A goat tied to a nearby tree bleated softly. This was their life, quiet, predictable, comfortable. But inside the main house, their first daughter, Ngozi, was packing her life into one small bag. She was 32 years old, with a good job as a bank manager in Lagos, and she was going back to her parents' home, not for a visit, for good. That evening, after Pa Sunday had gone to the village meeting and the younger children were doing their homework by the light of a kerosene lamp, Ngozi sat with her mother in the kitchen. The firewood crackled, casting dancing shadows on the wall. "Mama," Ngozi started, her voice low, "I have left Chidi." Mama Chinwe's hand stopped midway to adding salt to the pot. She looked at her daughter, her face unreadable in the flickering light. She did not ask why immediately. She waited. "He is not a bad man, Mama," Ngozi continued, her eyes fixed on the flames. "He provides, he does not shout, he does not drink. But he is not there. Even when he is in the house, he is not there. For 10 years, I have been cooking for a ghost." Mama Chinwe sighed, a long, weary sound that seemed to come from her bones. She added the salt. "Ne," she said softly, using the Igbo word for mother, which she often called her daughters. "Marriage is not about feeling, it is about endurance. Like yam, you plant it, you wait, you weed, you harvest. Some seasons are good, some are bad. You don't uproot the yam just because the rain is late." "But Mama, what if the soil is dead? What if you have weeded and waited, and the rain has gone and come, and still nothing grows?" Mama Chinwe turned to face her daughter. She saw the tiredness in Ngozi's eyes, a tiredness that went deeper than the long drive from Lagos. "Where will you sleep?" her mother asked, her tone changing from philosophy to practicality. "Here, with you, for now." Mama Chinwe nodded slowly. "Your father will not like it." "I know." The next few weeks were strange. Pa Sunday barely spoke to Ngozi. He would clear his throat loudly when she entered a room and leave. For him, a married woman living in her father's house was a shame. It was a sign that he, as a father, had failed. What would people at the village meeting say? What would his fellow elders think? He spent more time on his farm, returning only when it was dark. One evening, he came back to find Ngozi sitting on the veranda, sewing a torn piece of his clothing. He stopped. He looked at the needle moving in and out of the fabric, at his daughter's focused face. "You don't have to do that," he muttered, his voice gruff. "I know, but the stitching was coming loose. It will only get worse." He stood there for a moment, then sat down heavily on his usual chair. Lagos people, they rush everything, even out of marriage. Ngozi put the sewing down. "Papa, it was not a rush. It was 10 years. 10 years of watching a man who married me for a complete home, not for me. I was just the woman who made the home complete. Any woman could have done it." "What will you do?" he asked, his voice softer now. "I have my job. I can take care of myself. I just need a place to remember who I am, apart from being somebody's wife." That night, Pa Sunday lay in the dark next to his wife. He stared at the ceiling. "This Chidi boy, he is not a bad man," he whispered. "No," Mama Chinwe whispered back, "but maybe he is not a good husband for our daughter. And maybe," she paused, turning to face him in the dark, "there is a difference." A week later, Chidi arrived. He drove up in his shiny car, bringing gifts of expensive wine, a new wrapper for Mama Chinwe, and a carton of Guinness for Pa Sunday. He was polite, he was respectful. He begged Ngozi to come back. They sat in the parlor, the air thick with politeness. Ngozi's younger siblings were shooed away. "Ngozi," Chidi said, his voice calm and measured, "come back. The house is empty without you. I will try harder." Ngozi looked at him. He was handsome in his pressed shirt. He was a good man. He just wasn't her man. He never had been. "Chidi," she said gently, "you don't need to try harder. You need to understand. And I don't think you can. He left the next morning. He shook hands with Pa Sunday, who accepted the gifts but looked troubled. As Chidi's car disappeared in a cloud of red dust, Pa Sunday turned to Ngozi. You are sure? I am sure, Papa. He nodded slowly. He walked into the house and came back with his worn-out leather wallet. He pulled out some crumpled notes and handed them to Ngozi. Go to the market on Saturday. Buy some tomatoes and peppers. Your mother's stock is almost finished. And, he cleared his throat, looking away, welcome home. Ngozi took the money. Her eyes stung, but she did not cry. She looked at the old mango tree, the dozing goats, the rusting zinc on the roof. It was not a fancy house in Lagos. It was home. It was the place where the soil was not dead. It was just resting, waiting for her to decide what new thing she wanted to plant.